shift started. It's Saturday. Mark's here. This radiator's here. Joe's here.
Hi.
And Peach is here. He's getting GoPros ready for us so you guys can see a time lapse again, because you guys like that stuff. We have a different radiator. We're gonna minimize some stuff and make it less easy for stuff to fly in and hit the radiator. It never happened, it never ruined anything, but the radiator was laying down way out here before. The radiator came to about here. It was pretty big, so we were gonna minimize it a little bit. This is a new version of a radiator that has extruded cores. It's more efficient. It can be smaller and be the same efficiency as that bigger one. I'm sure my second fan will turn on more times now because it's a little less water. And we're also doing the through the cab water stuff like we told you guys about. See those ORB, the ORB female on that side, so we'll thread in an ORB there. The hoses will just run along here, but we'll have to shield them so it's FD legal. It can have the aluminized shielding, like it could be like this kind. I think it could even be this. The PTP one in there, they make really good stuff. It'll keep the heat down if someone accidentally touches it. It'll also save me if there was like a puncture in that or whatever from spraying on my body while I'm trying to jump out of the car if there was an issue. That turned out pretty cool. So then Joe's building the hard lines right now that'll go similar to Rory's car, but they'll go down this way. They kind of like lay along here, go down low, and head this way. We can do water in and out of the motor from there, like we did on Rory's car. We did it slightly different than Rory's car because we always think of new ways. That's what we're going for right there. And then down. There it is where it goes in and out. Has this heat exchanger here. We are doing exact same thing. So heat exchanger in place of the normal huge oil cooler that I had. That was a dual pass with a fan on it. So now we have a little bit less electrical stuff. The radiator is going to be very similar to Rory's, just like this, where it sits into the floor like that. Still has tons of room from the window. Tons of air can still get in it. We could even do less of a ducting than this. It doesn't need that much, but we'll probably do that much just so it functions properly. Probably tomorrow we could work on that part. Long list of fab stuff to do, but we can make it happen. Only thing we can't do is this. I wish we could do that, but next super build. My car won't use this. It's gonna use a radium piece in place of that in the same area. Yeah, we just have tons of stuff to work on. Talk to you in a bit. Patch some stuff here. We're gonna get ready to mount the radiator here pretty soon. Got some new stock Toyota rubber bushings that go under the radiator. We'll weld a little pin on the bottom of the radiator in tank. Then these will be countersunk into the floor. Works out pretty good. We're gonna be putting a brand new PC 1200 hold down kit. Fresh one for this season. Vicha did the WiseFab in the front, so we have fresh WiseFab for this season to start the year off. Got everything squared away. We still have to do our alignment later.
It is BMW.
That's a BMW. We have this pipe work that Joe is working on, Snake Party. We're gonna put a thermostat on this one, but we need the other flange that'll go on here, which we wanted to weld on a -16 ORB female. That's a -16 female on both of those. So we wanted to weld one of those on. We don't have any in stock right now, so we'll get one of those from XRP, and maybe like Tuesday night we'll start working on this again and finalize that. This is a flow-through thermostat that's like mounts in line. We use these on a lot of the stuff we do. It just holds a GM thermostat, so you can put like a 190, 180, 170. We use a 160. That's gonna go on the top pipe here. Probably cut this part off from about that flange to here, but we may even like cut this shorter or extend that or vice versa. We don't know yet because we're waiting on the flange and we don't know the diameter of that yet entirely. It's about this big, which means we might have to cut this tube here and like step it up, let's say 1/2 inch, so they have clearance between each other. We mounted this back here. This is another bulkhead pass-through. It's a female ORB, so it accepts male ORB fittings. Our lines can run through the cab like we were talking about. So we have to make another one of those sides because it had some holes where we had slipped wiring through. But what we're gonna do is bulkhead fitting there so that it's removed by the back half of the chassis harness. The front middle section will be in the cab. There'll be another bulkhead here where the front one comes out. We'll have a fat bulkhead down there. We're gonna cut out the firewall a little different, kind of like how we had done here. These are for the ground and the power that need to go through the firewall. We'll put those here as well. That's kind of what we're working on. I don't know if I showed you guys this. Coils are mounted here now. They're gonna run through this and go out into the engine bay and then right in along the top of the motor there. Joe's gonna get the radiator mounted to the shroud right now, then we'll put it in the car. Hopefully by the end of the day we have a little bit more to update you guys on. Gonna change how the bulkhead goes through right there instead of right here to put the crank breather box in the space where this line is, because Rory's setup that Joe had made that looks pretty good, looks like a mirror image of the practice car one, goes till about right here. 3/8, ½ inch of space over there, but that's not gonna fit this. We're gonna drill through here, bulkhead out of there with this guy, a bulkhead and T for the two-step sensor, all on the same thing. Got a Pro EFI 2000 PSI gauge, or a sensor, sorry, in here. That's measuring clutch pressure. Make a new line from the clutch master over to here. This line might still work, but it might be too short, so most likely it's too short. That's on that Stoli disconnect, quick disconnect down there, so you still have clutch pressure, but you can remove your bell housing and your slave cylinder still has pressure. This still has pressure, no leaking. It's pretty cool fittings. Making firewall plates down in here. These are gonna go get powder coated black. You take this sharp edge, it's just a M6 bolt that's been sharpened, and then you can use that as your center punch to make all these holes line up. It's super convenient. So I already did it. So what you do, thread it in. It is on the back side and back of it. So then it's right there. And when you lean your panel up against it, before there's any holes, you line up the panel how you like it, and then bam, you hit it. And then it's a reverse center punch, and then you'll have your pilot hole or your center punch hole to start drilling. You drill it out, and then you bolt it in, line up where you want the next one, so on and so forth, and then all three of them will just go in place. Joe's in the back. He's getting everything ready because he already made the rubber grommet spot on the bottom of the radiator. The rubber grommets sit in these holes that are sunk into the floor, and then we got to mount it to the cage like we did on Rory's car, but in a different way, because Rory's cage ties in over here, so similar but different. Yeah, you guys will see. Ooh, Turbo Dog. Also, there's a new employee at Rad. No, there's just a Mike. And Mike's getting his really fuel economy Z. Economical Z, I guess. He's just maximizing his space here. Remember the video we did and you guys all checked it out? There's a little more that happened. We put a crank breather tank in and went down and under that with the upper radiator hose, and then Mike's, he got everything powder coated black. It's coming along good. Everyone's gone. I lost my hat. No. We are done for the day. Mark and I will be here again tomorrow. Gotta keep making progress. That's it for tonight, guys. Now I gotta go do stuff on the computer, making emails and lists and stuff to keep this thing going. Let's do this again tomorrow. See you guys then. Bye, Turbo. Say bye.